I mean, AI is a very obvious answer. I think that's very quickly having an impact on everybody's lives, not just architectural design. I think robotics has another big impact as well. I think we see a lot of even just like drone usage in viewing a site or viewing an existing building or viewing a construction site. I think a lot of that has really grown in leaps and bounds in the past several years. And I think all that will continue to have a huge impact. And I'm sure there's technologies that we don't even know about yet. They're going to impact us in the next 5 years. So, yeah, I think they're all great, though. It's hot here in Texas and it seems to get hotter every year. So, and in that, it's hot and our ACs are running all the time. So that's not great for, electrical bills and things like that. So I think there has to be a definite shift in how we view those sorts of inevitabilities in our designs, how those interact. We can't just continue with the standard approach and just, oh, we'll just use as much electricity as possible to cool this space. We've got to find passive ways to do that. We've got to find better ways to keep our people comfortable while not just, eating up all of these resources to do it. Some of that bleeding of indoor and outdoor, probably a lot more natural materials. You talk about that also in direct discussion with emerging technologies. They seem a little two sides of the same coin. As those newer technologies come on board, you can't ignore the fact that how people interact with the natural environment, how they interact with more natural materials and things like that. And that I think people are going to be looking to buildings to potentially to respond more to the day-to-day changes in life and to people and interactions than just being a static building. We'll see that coming more as well. I think the spaces that get allocated to people are continuing to get smaller. I think that's happened over the years inevitably anyways, as space becomes limited and more valuable. But it seems like even more so, as people are either being told to come back to work, right? And there's maybe not enough space for everybody. So you got to give them a little less space, or it's shared space where, maybe you don't own a desk. You just, occupy it for certain hours of a day or certain days of a week. We're doing that here and it works great for us. I mean, it's a great way to really utilize all the space in your office. And I think with as much flexibility and as much as architects, we're not always in the office. We're on sites, we're in meetings, we're kind of in and out a lot. It really allows us to utilize the space that we have in an effective way.